Hello everyone, this is Pastor Greg. Joining me again, Dr. Marks. The video we're going to be discussing today is actually to some simple and to some more complicated. And it's a very powerful subject, really, as we dive into it. And it's the question, if God is good, why does he allow evil? That can be verbed in a variety of ways, but it's the same principle. Why does God allow evil? So we discussed in our last video that good is the nature of God. Mm-hmm. Evil is the lack thereof, or the falling short of goodness, right?
Exactly.
And so, with that being said, why does God allow evil?
Well, I have to say right out of the gate, this is one of the biggest problems that people have with believing in God, believing in the Christian faith. They look around, they see terrible evil, they see, death and destruction and misery and viruses and all these horrible things, and they just go, how can I believe in a good God when all this evil exists? And that is a genuine, it's an honest question, and I'm glad to be able to talk about it. I don't think that we should shy away from this question.
Yeah, the hard questions are really important to ask.
In order to really understand it, we do have to do a quick recap on that last video. As you said, good is that thing which is perfect, whole, complete, as it should be. And God is the epitome of this because he lacks nothing. He's absolute perfection. He is good. He is goodness itself.
Sure.
What evil is a lack. It's always a lack. It's not a thing within itself. So there's no such thing as a balance between good and evil. No, there's good. Evil is just the lack of it. There's no such thing as a balance.
Anything that falls short, yep.
Yeah. I find that funny because even people who say, well, there should be a balance between good and evil, well, balance is in itself a good thing. So, you know what I mean? Sure. So we can go round and round and round on that one. But the idea of why does God allow this evil? Well, if we think about it for a moment, God, in his nature, is a relational being. And that relation within himself is free. The reason that God allows evil to exist is because there's no other way to allow genuine free will. If we don't have genuine free will, we don't have real love. If I put a gun up to your head and say, tell me you love me, odds are you're going to tell me. And it won't be free, and it won't be genuine, and it won't be real love. Real love is a relation, it's a giving of one another that is totally free, or then it can't be love. In order for God to allow human beings to freely have a real relationship with him, he had to allow for the fact that some human beings would say, I don't want that relationship. And that I don't want has to be genuine. It can't be fake. It can't be a computer program that says, well, some of them are going to say no. No, it has to be real. And in order for a real denial of relationship, well, that means that you're going to deny a lot of things. Evil is, as we said, a lack of goodness. So if I reject God, I'm going to reject other parts of the goodness of God. I'm going to become self-absorbed. All evil can be traced back to being self-absorbed and denying God.
Sure.
All of it. Murder, everything.
Or summed up in the one word pride.
Exactly.
Right? It's choosing your will over God's.
Yeah. So the reason that God allows evil is to allow free will, because with free will, you get real love. Without real love, you don't have anything. Now, the Bible tells us that God will allow a lifetime for us to make this choice. And of course, there's a lot of evil going on within our lifetimes, but eventually God's going to end the ability for free will. Your choice will be locked in forever at a certain point, either at your death or at the end of time, when God locks it all down and says, that's it, free will is done. At that point, your choice, if you decided, I don't want to have a relationship with God, I want things on my own terms, that choice will be locked in forever. If you said, no, I want to be in relationship with God and I'm willing to humble myself to get there,
Instead of saying free will will end, would it be fair to say your choice? You're locked in your choice.
You're locked in your choice. Yeah.
Yeah, because the reason I point that out is because I think of heaven, there will still be love, which means there's still an expression.
There's still an
of free will,
expression. Yeah, but
right?
your choice to be in relationship with God, that choice is locked in.
Our nature changes.
Our nature changes.
Now we have a nature that does not oppose God,
Ever.
which
I'm really looking forward to
how
it.
nice, right?
Yeah. When you get to heaven, it's like all your choices will be the right choices. There will be no more mistakes.
Yeah.
There'll be no more sin. There'll be no more rebellion. There'll be perfect love between free creatures like you and me.
And it's
between
not
us and
a
God.
fairy tale. This is a real thing, and it logically makes sense. You know, it's not just a random set of beliefs.
Exactly.
It logically makes sense that if God allows this dispensation or time period where humans can choose love or they can choose evil, He gives them free will for this time period. And the Bible talks about we were born into sin. Not like you were born in the act of sinning, but there's a world that has been corrupted by the original sin of Adam and
that's
Eve,
correct.
right? And so we're born into a world,
Cursed world.
that once sin came into the world, death and decay, thermodynamics.
Yep. Death, decay, thorns, viruses, disease, all of that came in as a result of the rebellion of humans. Yes, that's correct. We also need to make a quick clarification here. When we talk about love, I said that God allows evil so that there would be free will so that we can freely choose love. People misunderstand the word love.
Sure.
Because we can say, I love chocolate, and I can say, I love my wife, and I mean two entirely different things, or at least one should hope I mean two entirely different things. When we're talking about love, we're talking about the free interaction in relationship between two beings. Okay? And that can't happen unless you have genuine free will. See, I love my wife, but the only reason that I truly love my wife is that because if I wanted to, I wouldn't have to. I don't have to. I choose to.
Sure.
And that's what makes it genuine. I'm not programmed to it like a computer. I'm not forced to it like a slave. Okay? And it's not based on some changeable feeling either, because feelings come and go. I mean, one second you're hungry, the next second you're not. One second you feel
Our
good,
emotions
you feel
can
bad.
be a roller
Emotions
coaster.
are up and down and all over the place. No, real love is not about emotion. It's about that choice to be in mutually sacrificial giving of being between two free beings. That's what love is.
Well, and it's funny, not to derail the conversation, but that's I think why we see so much divorce in society today, because marriage, a covenant, an agreement has become more about emotion. And if I'm happy, then I'm committed. Because if you go into marriage with a mindset of I'm committed, you're going to try to make it work versus grumbling and complaining.
Yeah, I've made a free choice to share my being, who I am, with my wife, and that's not based on whether I feel good or not today, or whether I feel good about her or not today.
Sure.
Because if my relationship